You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and to get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So, are you ready? Here we go.
All right, thank you so much, Wes. That's such a great job with that intro for me. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 53. And it's all brought to you by Kelly's Automotive in Manteo. Since 2010, Kelly Midget, he's been the used car king of the market here on the Outer Banks, and now he's selling sheds as well. I have a car from him. I have a shed from him, okay? Fantastic individual over there at Kelly's Automotive. If it has doors, though, it can be yours. And you can call Kelly or Dakota at 252-473-3807 or check out their inventory online at kellysobxauto.com. I do need to get with Kelly. I do need him to come in and be on the show with me to talk about the big car show that's coming up that he does. It's like an annual car show in May. So I'll have him in the near future to talk about that. But this is going to be a really fun episode for me. Really, really fun because I was really looking forward to it. And I feel like I say this like I'm like a broken record over here. But this is the first episode of year number 2 for the podcast, and I felt it'd be necessary to bring in one of my best buddies in the world, love him to death, owner, operator, president, CEO, chairman of Carolina Barbecue Company in Manteo, the one, the only, Mr. Mike Weaver. Mike?
How you doing, Justin? What's going on, Bubba?
Man, I'll tell you what, dude, I am tickled to death to have you in here. I've been waiting for this for a long time. We've talked about having you come in and talk about everything at the restaurant and the barbecue and just about how you got your start with the barbecue and whatnot. And I'm just really glad to have the opportunity to have you come in and hang out with me today. So thanks for coming.
I appreciate it, man. I've been hanging out in that smokehouse, you know, got a lot of things going on, future's coming up. So we're going to try to kill it this year if we can, and we look forward to having you being a part of it.
I'd look forward to being a part of it. 2024 looking good for you so far, I guess. So we're ready to have you tell us a little bit more about you and the restaurant and the food and everything like that. So we're going to talk to Mike more about his prowess, his barbecue prowess in just a little bit. Is that the right way to describe it? Prowess? Sounds kind of fancy.
No, we're not fancy around there.
You ain't fancy?
Nah.
Okay.
Kind of dirty and smelly.
Smells good, though. It's a good smell.
That's a good smell.
It's a good smell for sure. I was thinking about if there was any sort of news, anything that's like jumping out at me right now happening around the Outer Banks that is noteworthy. Nothing that I can really think of, Mike. Is there anything jumping out at you that you can think of newsworthy that's going on around the Outer Banks right now? No?
I don't know. I can't think. We're open. I know that.
You're open, yeah.
We opened back up 2 weeks ago.
But, that's news. Hey,
yeah,
that's
right.
Good news. We're always looking for the good news.
Get people in here.
Amen. So, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And a lot of times whenever I need to look for local news, I head on over and check out my man Sam Walker at samwalkerobxnews.com. I actually got him coming in sometime next month, in the month of March, to be on the show. So, but that's where I go for my news. Sam Walker's been in the game around here for a very long time. He's got a new podcast he and his wife just launched, talking about different life experiences and how they can help other people, which is really, really cool. So I like his podcast. It's on all your major podcast platforms, as are we. And, go over and check him out if you get a chance. It's the Sam and M podcast. And for all of your local news, I'm going to call him the answer. Sam Walker is the answer. I used to call him Grand Slam Sam Walker when I worked at the radio station.
I remember listening to you a lot.
Yeah.
I've been listening to him a lot, too, over the years.
Sam,
Good.
He's definitely a good dude. You got that right, Mike. So go on his website, samwalkerobxnews.com. Be a founder, subscribe to his emails and his news, and you won't regret it, guaranteed. I want to thank real quick Jackie and Sandy from the Dare County Special Olympics. They came in here last week, talked about the polar plunge, talked about the Special Olympics, the mission itself, also discussed the different activities and things in the sports that they participate in, which I got an email about. And I'll talk about that in just a few moments in my shout-out section. But I did get an email from a listener about helping with one of the sports that we had discussed. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I do appreciate them coming in. Their Polar Plunge happening on March 9th at Jeanette's Pier. I
hope you're doing it.
I am doing it. It's $50, and it all goes to a great cause. You can join a team, and you go jump in the water, and it's all the money going back to the Special Olympics of Dare County. Yeah, it's
$50.
$50, that's it.
I'll pay it for you.
Look out. I got somebody that's going to throw $50 at me to jump into cold water. Now,
I like to see it.
But here's the thing, that Do I get to keep my clothes on or do I need to get naked, Mike?
You better keep all your clothes on.
Keep all my clothes on.
I'll bring you an overcoat.
Bring me an overcoat. All right, I retract that statement. I'm going to keep my clothes on and jump into water for a great cause. It's going to be cold. What's the water temperature right now? Do you know, Mike? I think it's in like the upper 40s, lower 50s or
I think
something.
it's more in the upper 50s and mid 50s.
Mid 50s or so? Okay, I haven't checked in a while. So hopefully come March 9th, it's a little bit warmer. But I look forward to doing that. Something else that I want to keep mentioning, keep bringing up to everyone. We do have Captain Marty. Captain Marty he's got his own channel. I've had some people like, oh, is Captain Marty going to be your new co-host? No. Mike's my co-host today. Marty has got his own channel with his fishing stories and his reports. You can go like and subscribe to his channel. You can find it on our website, OuterBanksThisWeek.com. He's got his own little section that says Captain Marty. Okay.
Nice.
So for all your local fishing reports and all of your fishing stories that he's been telling, I've been banking some up for him here lately. He's been coming in here and recording with me. So having him come in has been great to do that type of stuff, and to have his own platform now is amazing.
I bet he could tell us the temperature of the water.
I guarantee he could. And, I should have asked him. I saw him earlier today, Mike, and I didn't even think to ask him. I didn't. We were too busy talking about a lot of other things. That's just how it happens sometimes.
Yep.
You get to talking to somebody, because there'll be things that I want to ask you sometimes whenever I see you, and we'll get to talking, and I'll completely forget about why I was stopping by to see you or talking to you about something. And then I'll get in my car and leave, and I'm like, crap, I meant to ask Mike that. Daggone it.
One of my biggest problems, having too many things on my mind.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that way a little bit, Mike. So anyway, going to jump into some shout-outs. And again, this is an opportunity for me and Mike today to give shout-outs to people in the community, people that listen on a regular basis. That if you let me know you're listening, you end up on my shout-out list. Or people that have done something like super cool that is just worthy of a shout out. So, Mike, do you, ladies first?
Yeah.
And I can say that to Mike. Mike's one of my buddies. This is kind of our love language. It's Mike and I's love language.
Endless.
Mike, do you have any shout outs you want to do?
I like to give one out. Fuzzy
Yes. Holt.
Yep.
Okay.
Bringing the wall to the area, the wall that heals. I think that was a really great thing, him being a part of that. I'm not sure how much I know the veterans of the Outer Banks, Dare County Veterans Association had a lot to do with bringing it, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But I just like to give a little shout out to him. I really appreciate him and what him and Robin's done on that particular event.
That was definitely a cool event, Mike.
Yes,
definitely.
Sir.
I volunteered over there. I remember because
We were there.
You had dropped off some barbecue. You brought barbecue over, and I was like, hot diggity dog, and it ain't even my birthday.
I tried to run you over in the parking lot, but saw me before I came on.
Yeah, it's definitely an awesome thing that they did, and that's definitely a worthy shout out. So, yeah, Fuzzy Holt and Miss Robin, they definitely some first-class individuals helping bring that wall. Definitely cool. Do you have any more, or no?
Not right this moment.
Well, if you think of one,
what do you got over there?
If you think of one, Mike, just jump right in, okay? Just let me know.
Right.
I want to start with a gentleman that I chit-chat with him over social media, but I never really met him before until the other day, and that is a gentleman by the name of Chad Harper, okay? Captain Red. He has Redbeard's Tiki Cruises in Salvo. I met with him last week to talk about just doing some work with us here at Outer Banks this week in the podcast and everything like that. He took me out on his tiki boat, Mike.
You didn't bring me? I mean, I'd have gone with you on that.
Well, you know what? And you might get an opportunity in the near future to do it with us, because we were talking about some different things that involve some video and some audio work, so you might get that opportunity. But he has such a cool business concept down there for taking people out, taking them out in the water, going and kind of letting them booze cruise. He's the captain. He drives you around. He'll take you to little shoals and beaches for you to jump off and go swim around. He's got a bar
So it looks like a tiki hut, literally?
A tiki hut on the water that floats.
Man.
It is really cool. Now, you got to bring your own beer, bring your own alcohol.
Right.
Okay? But one thing that he's also going to be doing this year, he bought a van. And if you live in the Tri-Village area anywhere in Rodanthe, Salvo, or Waves, he will come and pick you up, drive you to the boat, take you out in the boat for however long you bought the boat for, bring you back, put you in the van, and take you home so you don't have to worry about driving.
That'd be nice because I might need somebody to put me in the van after a day of drinking on the water.
He could probably do that too.
Yeah, big guy.
He's got a big red beard. You talk about like Duck Dynasty red. I mean,
nice.
Duck Dynasty big, but I mean, it is bright red. Bright red. You can't. I mean, if you see him, you're like, you must be Captain Redbeard.
He must be a pirate.
He's definitely a cool. He and his fiance Vanessa, definitely a sweet person. They're fantastic folks, and I told him, I said, look, you're going to get talked about because they took me out there. I was just asking us like, tell me about the boat. Like, let me see the boat, and they're like, we'll take you out in the boat. So we went for a ride, and we rode around a little bit and talked and just kind of chewed the fat, I guess we should say. We chewed the fat for a little bit and hung out. And I felt like I'd known the guy forever just by talking to him.
Right.
And a fantastic person. And I just really wanted to give them a shout out today because I want to see them succeed. So if you go to redbeardsobx.com, you can get on with him, book a ride around, go out, book a booze cruise with him.
I'm going to look to do that.
Something that would be really fun to do. If you're coming here on vacation, you're going to be staying down that direction on Hatteras Island, I suggest getting up with Redbeard and talking to him about taking a little booze cruise, and he'll drive you around and get you home. If you're in the Tribe Villages, that's where he's at right now. He's like, man, I got limited to that right now. I could get it bigger, but I got to get bigger before I can expand that reach for driving people to and from.
So I'll go with you. Next time you go, let me know. I'll carry some pork fat from the restaurant so we can chew.
We can chew on that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do that, Mike. Have a barbecue booze cruise.
Ooh.
That's got a nice little ring to it, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does.
I think I like that.
Let me see my sheet real quick, Mike. I'm losing. Mike's taking my sheet from me. I got a guide that I got to go by sometimes because I forget things half the time. But also want to shout out to a friend of mine named David Bradley. Now, Dave, I call him D. I've been knowing him for probably, 2024, 2011, 2010, 2011. So we'll say 12, 13 years or so. I met him when I was working for the state. Came in here from Rocky Mount, Raleigh, somewhere out that direction. And he just super nice guy. And he's been a friend of mine ever since. And he came to me the other day and said, when you do the polar plunge, I'm going to do it with you, which led me to believe, he listens to the podcast. And he was telling me just different things about every podcast that I've done. And I was like, D, you listen to my podcast like that all the time? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, you're my boy. I listen to you. I'm like, I love you. You're awesome. On my shout out list. So, Mr. Bradley, love you, bro. Thank you for being a loyal listener to the show. Also, I want to shout out to Miss Megan Heiner. Now, Megan works at Buffalo City Distillery over in Currituck. Oh. I happened to be meeting with a gentleman the other day at, the bagel shop. What is it called? I'm drawing a blank with it in Kitty Hawk.
The bagel shop.
There's a bagel shop in Kitty Hawk. Berry Island Bagels.
That's right.
And I just happened to ask what their favorite, what they like listening to. And this girl spoke up and said that she had listened to the podcast. We'd had some conversation. She said she listened to the podcast and she worked at Buffalo City Distilling. I said, oh my gosh, I just was over there talking to your boss man, Mr. Buddy, the other day. I said, what's your name? I said, I'm going to put you on my shout out list. So I want to shout out to Megan and thank you for being a listener as well. My last one is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Chris Murphy. Now, I met Mr. Chris Murphy, it was during the First Friday, Mike, back in maybe May or June of last year. He approached me on the street and was like, are you that guy? And I was like, that guy? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, from the podcast. He's like, I've seen your picture. I listened to your podcast. It's awesome. He and his friend Greg approached me. Well, he emailed me the other day because he's been listening to the podcast. And he was talking about the Special Olympics, okay? And he went into listening and he said he heard the thing about the Special Olympics baseball team because I asked if baseball was a sport that they did. And they said, no, not yet. And that's something that I thought would be really neat to kind of look into. And he said, if this gets any momentum, let me know. Would be happy to donate, etc. He said, I was a coach in Maryland for years, so probably at least have some equipment that they could pass down, but also would love to donate new equipment, buckets of baseballs, etc., even some money if we're allowed to route funds directly to the baseball team. So I emailed him back, or I texted him rather, and I said, listen, Mr. Murphy, Let me see what we can do about this because I'm so busy, Mike. I don't have time right now to really give to being like the head coach of anything. but I could probably help. And that's kind of my heart's being pulled that direction a little bit with Special Olympics. So that's something we might look into. And I want to thank Mr. Murphy for emailing and saying that he'd be willing to donate to the cause. That was a really sweet gesture, and we thank you so much for that, Mr. Murphy. So that's just super cool. And if you're a listener to the podcast and you have an idea for something, or you have a question you would like me to ask Mike at another time, because obviously at the recording of this podcast, I won't get the email in time, you can email me, podcast@outerbanksthisweek.com. Podcast@outerbanksthisweek.com, and I'll put you on my shout-out list. I will include you in whatever conversation that we're having. I just love interacting with the listeners because it's what keeps this thing going. I'm a people person, Mike. You know this.
Yep,
you know, got to be with the people, and I love entertaining and talking and hamming it up with everybody. So if you're a listener, podcast@outerbanksthisweek.com. All right, coming up in just a few moments, the man, the myth, the legend sitting in the room with me right now, Mike Weaver. We're going to talk to him a little bit more about Carolina Barbecue Company, the restaurant here in Manteo, his taste and his flavor and his desire that he has for Eastern Carolina barbecue, and just how he got his start and who Mike is. We're going to talk to him more in just a few moments. But first, Mike, are you familiar with a company called ELS Electrical? ELSOBX Electrical.
Yeah, I sure am.
Oh, you are?
Yep, sure enough. They literally did some work for me just last week.
What?
It's funny that we're here doing this. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they put new lights up in my parking lot, so they took down all the old LED, the old hydrogen bulbs style, and put up all new LED, so we save a lot of energy like that. Taking care of saving the earth kind of thing. And got my sign out front, the lights on that never kind of worked properly. So now that's all working properly. I can put my flag back up and have the American flag out there all the time, even covered, lit up with the light and all.
Okay.
So, yeah, they've done a lot of work. I was impressed. I had one little issue, and they came right back immediately and fixed it. It wasn't really their problem. It was an issue that I saw that I wanted to change, and they added it, and no problem, no questions asked. And, heck, I ain't even seen a bill yet. So
that's always a good thing.
I'm sure it'll come. No, they did good work, though. Got to give it to them.
Good deal, good deal. Quick word from them, and then we'll be right back. Electricity, something I don't mix well with at all, and that's why I only trust the folks at ELSOBX. ELSOBX offers a variety of services from custom electrical installations to lighting design. ELSOBX has the experience and know-how to complete any job. They're committed to providing the highest quality lighting and electrical installations or service at affordable prices. Visit them online at ELSOBX.com to get a brighter idea of how shockingly awesome they are. See what I did there? ELSOBX, electrical and lighting solutions you can count on. All right, ELS Electrical here in Manteo and online at ELSOBX.com. All right, Mike, here we are. You and I. Again, I'm going to kind of intro Mike one more time because Mike is a dear friend of mine, and I think the world of Mike and what he does, giving back to the community, how much he loves his country, and just how great of a product he produces. I just can't think of enough. Honestly, you're one of my best friends in the world, Mike. I'm glad that you came in here to do this with me today. And welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Let's talk about Mike. Who is Mike Weaver?
That's the last thing I want to talk about.
Well, give us a little taste of Mike Weaver.
No, I mean, I retired back in 2009 from civil engineering and mechanical engineering, and I was just tired of sitting behind a desk. I'm from Southampton County, Virginia, to be honest with you. Been cooking this barbecue and cooking Brunswick stew most of my life, ever since I was a kid. But when I got laid off in 2009, I decided to chase a dream. That's what my boss said to me, too. He's like, hey, man, go chase that dream you've always told me about. You always bought barbecue to the places I've worked in the past, and everybody would buy it on Fridays. So I knew my product was good. So in 2009, I decided to give it up, tired of sitting behind a desk. I've always wanted to live in the Outer Banks, so it was a place I want to retire in. Come here all my life as long as I can remember as a kid. I lost my front tooth. Got down here on Saturday and let my front tooth out that morning when we got down here when I was like 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
It was over on the beach over there by where the Kmart was.
Okay.
So he ended up going back that Sunday and getting a root canal and coming back for the rest of the week.
Oh, Lord.
So, but no, it's like I said, I've come here all my life, so it's the place I wanted to retire. I saw that opportunity in 2009, And I took off, come down here. I lived in an RV down in North Beach Campground for 6 months, trying to find the right place to move and live. Ended up in Manteo. Couldn't have thought of a better place. Roanoke Island was perfect. I never found the friendship, the small town camaraderie that you'll find in Manteo or Wanchese. You will not find that on the beach, in my mind. It was a small town. People always waved. Took a little while for me to network, but I got to know the right people. I got in with Justin right off the bat pretty fast. The Bassinites, Hatchels. It's a bunch of different people out there that I interacted with that helped me get my start down here. The fire department, Bill Walker over at the fire department, they helped me get a lot of jobs with the fire department catering for them. So they helped me. They saw what I was wanted to do, and people came around me and kind of supported me in that. And that was this community that came around and supported me. So I kind of found a future here in the Outer Banks. And I always wanted to open a barbecue restaurant, so it took a little while to get networked, but getting to know the right people, getting into the restaurant business. My brother had already been down here since he was 15 and worked over at the Ethridge's Seafood Restaurant over on the beach, Willie's Restaurant.
Oh,
over
my
there.
gosh. That was a long time ago.
Yep. And so I've been in and out of the area all my life, and I've got to know people over the years. And since 2009, I couldn't have thought of going anywhere else in the world to experience what I've experienced since I've come here.
That's beautiful. Well, I'll tell you, there's one thing about you, Mike. Like you've got the best barbecue I've ever eaten. And I'm not saying that because you're one of my best friends in the world. And people are probably thinking, oh, he's just being biased. No, I'm not. Like, maybe there is a little bit of that. But at the same time, like your barbecue, if I'm not a barbecue discriminatory person, if that makes any sense. I don't discriminate against barbecue. You put barbecue in front of me, I'm going to eat it. But if you're like, hey, here's Mike's barbecue and somebody else's, I'm going to eat Mike's and then the other. I'm going to eat both of them, but Mike's is going to be the one that I consume first. You get what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, and I remember the first time I tried something Mike's barbecue, and it was actually like the first time I met Mike. I was working at Fish Heads.
Yep.
And Mike was over there, and that's one thing about Mike. He was very persistent. That's how Mike got to be as successful as he's been with the restaurant and with his barbecue, is because he didn't take no for an answer, and he continued to be persistent with his product and believed in his product. And that's the thing. You can move that product. You can sell that product if you believe in it. And Mike 100% was behind his product, and he was like, man, try my barbecue. And I was like, here we go, another one of these guys. You think about it, Mike. Think about it. How many people will say to you, oh, you've never had my barbecue?
Right.
Yeah, people say that crap all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, like, you were like, oh, here's another one of these guys. You ain't had my barbecue before.
Anybody that cooks barbecue cooks the best.
Of course.
Yeah,
so here I go, and I try it. I'm like, oh, gosh, you're right. I haven't had your barbecue. This is really good. This is really, really good. And like, I didn't want to say it out loud though, because I was like, man, I want this guy. I mean, I just kind of met Mike a little bit, so I didn't really want to let him know that I thought his stuff was the best. I was like, I mean, all right, you know what I mean? But I was like, this is really good. Next thing you know, my wife tries it. At the time, she was my girlfriend, fiance, I guess, and she tried it. She's like, I think we need to get Mike to cater our wedding. So here we go. I'm like, Mike. Well, we'd known each other for a little while at this point.
That was one of the ones that got me going too. Y'all really helped me out with that.
Well, and now I was like, Mike, you got to do my wedding. Oh, yeah, man, I got you. And he did. And he did a fantastic job. Phenomenal job. And everybody loved the barbecue. And people were asking where the barbecue came from. I'm like, he's right there. That guy right there. So anyway, the barbecue that you make, it's an Eastern Carolina barbecue.
Right.
Now, describe to me because there's so many different barbecues out there. There's your Memphis style. People talk about a Virginia style barbecue. They talk about a Western Carolina barbecue, a South Carolina.
Tomato base.
So many different styles of barbecue.
Right.
What is the Mike Weaver Eastern Carolina barbecue style? Talk to us a little bit about yours.
Well, it's a vinegar brown sugar-based sauce, a little crushed red pepper pop to it. I smoke it. We do it on a pecan or wild cherry wood. We do it over an open pit. A lot of people don't, cook in a smokehouse. They put it in the steamer, throw it in the oven, and throw some sauce on it and call it barbecue. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't have barbecue if that's the way you're doing it. It's really got to be done the right way. A lot of time involved in it. Temperatures are low, slow go as you cook. A lot of people will cook and serve it a couple days later. I tend to like to cook at night. on location at the restaurant. We have a smokehouse there, so I'll cook at night and serve it during the day. That's what a lot of people really come out to get, that fresh barbecue right off the grill. That means a lot to people, and something you don't find everywhere, that's for sure.
That is true. That is true. And you definitely, you said you have an on-site smokehouse, so
I think it's the only one in the Outer Banks.
I believe you're right. I don't know that
Probably.
for sure, but I feel quite certain that you might be the only one on the Outer Banks. What would you, now I gotta ask you this, Mike. I gotta ask you this. If someone were to walk up to you and be like, Mike, you're using liquid smoke, how would you react to that? Is that like in the barbecue pitmaster world, which I guess is what we should call you, Pitmaster Mike? Is that an offensive thing to say? Is that like fighting words? Like, talk to me about. Like,
I don't know. I don't know what people think. If you ask me that, I can probably consider you probably use liquid smoke because you know what it tastes like. Because I wouldn't be able to tell you what it tastes like. So no, I've never used it.
Okay.
The only bottles of sauce in my restaurant are my barbecue sauce.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
make all three of our barbecue sauces. We do our Eastern Carolina barbecue sauce. We do a tomato-based sauce. We like to call it the Yankee barbecue sauce. There's a back to a 2-part tomato base, 1 part our vinegar sauce, but it's that tomato base that throws it up there and gets you up in the northern states is the tomato base sauce.
Okay.
Also, your tomato base sauce you find out west of North Carolina out there by Lexington and all that. Mm-hmm. They tend to like that tomato base sauce too.
Okay.
But I don't think we really consider that even barbecue unless it's got a vinegar barbecue sauce on pork.
I mean, I get with you on that, Mike. I get with you on that.
But we do a brisket sauce also for our brisket too. So we have 3 different sauces at the restaurant to put on your meats. You can have either one you like.
Okay, that brings up my next question, Mike. Sure. At the restaurant now, you've been open. Is this 7 years?
7 years of this June. Yep.
7 years. I've been 2 years on the pod. I've just started year number 2 on the podcast.
Right.
You've been 7 years in June with your restaurant. You made it through COVID. You know, a lot of times COVID was kind of good for shutting down small business, but that's another, like I said, the persistence of Mike. He was finding ways to make it work.
Yep.
You know, he was getting after it every day.
We took the note right off the door as soon as they put it up and you know, as soon as the officer left, we were like, okay, he's gone. Take it down.
Take it.
Well, we let him come in and get the food, and you eat in the parking lot there for a while. So that worked out well for us.
Doing the curbside, we offered delivery because I remember I'd come over. I was kind of shut down with my work at that point too. So I was like, Mike, I'll work for food, and you were like, come on. So
yeah, we had fun, no doubt about it. It was an experience. You know, the world was put into a weird place at that time. But I won't let it take me down, that's for sure.
That's right. But 7 years, here we are coming up on 7 years in June. And you said something, you said you have a brisket sauce.
Yep.
Okay, so that means with brisket sauce comes brisket. Right? So now.
Yeah, we do a Carolina brisket. I've never been to Texas, so I haven't really had the Texas brisket. So I kind of do it on my own. And I guess we'll have to call it Carolina brisket because it's not cooked in Texas.
No, that's right.
Cooked right here in North Carolina.
So now you get that brisket and you season it. It's not like it's like you ship it in from Texas or anything. You actually take the time, you trim it.
We do all our trimming in-house. We do our trimming in-house. We marinate our briskets. They're cooked for 16 hours. They're wrapped at a certain temp and time. They're pulled off, put in a cooler for a while to finish their cooking process, and we take them out, chill them down, and serve them to you just like that.
Very nice. Very nice.
A little over 20 hours on a 15 to 16-piece brisket cook. So
yeah, and you throw that all in the smoker out back, and you get after it, cut low and slow.
Right. Yeah, we use hickory on that too.
Okay.
Change our woods up a little bit on some of our foods.
So okay, now you said some of your food. So we've talked about the barbecue,
pork. Yeah,
your pork barbecue, which is what you're famous for, what you're known for. You have won awards with your barbecue. It's worth mentioning that.
I try not to do shows and. I don't. I really, honestly, I like it. I enjoy doing what I'm doing with the barbecue. I enjoy serving it to people, and I enjoy I enjoy their pleasure. My pleasure is in their pleasure when it comes to serving a good product. I mean, honestly, I'm out to make money to make a living, but that's all it is about is making a living. It's not about getting rich. I do the barbecue for people because I want to provide something that they've never had before a lot of times, or the best they've ever had,
Right.
when it comes to pork barbecue or any of the other products we do. Because, I mean, I don't cut no corners. We do an in-house mac and cheese where we do smoked mac and cheese.
Okay.
I'm not just going to throw mac and cheese at you. I'm going to try to do something different to it. You know, we smoke cheeses at the restaurant, so why not smoke the cheese and the mac and cheese?
I get it, man. I get it. Like, but you also have barbecue chicken.
Yep, we have a barbecue chicken.
Okay.
You know, we do a boneless, skinless thigh. We don't have like halves and all that and different parts of the chicken. We like to do a boneless, skinless thigh. It makes a nice sandwich. It makes a nice couple pieces on your plate. We do it for about 2.5 hours, real slow. We make sure it's pulled off before it's overcooked. A lot of people will overcook chicken. We tend to like our chicken nice and juicy when you eat it, and have chicken flavor in it. We don't want to overwhelm it with so much sauce that it's not, you know,
right,
barbecue
totally.
chicken. It's just barbecue sauce on some meat.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that, and we like to call our chicken the icky sticky kicking chicken.
Icky sticky
Kicking
chicken.
Got a little kick to it, but you know,
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, you got those are kind of like your three, but you also have other things. So, like for people that aren't like quite barbecue type individuals, you also have.
Oh, we got burgers.
Burgers.
I mean, we got Nathan's hot dogs. Those are nice, big, giant hot dogs, the 5-to-1s, so they're huge. Like I say, we don't cut no corners. We try to get the best meat we can get for our hamburgers. And like I say, the hot dogs are great. We have flounder. We have some mahi-mahi, some fried items. You know, we got that for people that don't want the barbecue because, you know, some people just can't eat those kinds of meats. But we still have that. We have our homemade coleslaw, all made in-house.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so our baked beans, we don't just do baked beans. We like to take the brisket. When you cut a brisket up to serve it, there's pieces left on your board, your edges, and parts of your outer parts of the brisket and all those trimmings, pieces of fat, whatever it takes, throw it in the baked beans.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
We're not wasting anything around there, that's for sure. So that's what we like to do with the baked beans. We got a couple little neat little appetizers. We will do some brisket nachos from time to time. Which
those are so
they
good.
are super good. Yeah, they
Holy
really are.
smokes.
Then I come up with I had an idea for a while ever since the restaurant came along. I kind of wanted to do an appetizer of barbecue, and somehow like something that's fast and easy that people have never had before. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, what can I come up with? And I'm like, oh, you know, a hush puppy with barbecue inside of it. That'd be a pretty cool thing. So we ended up come up with a name, and I decided, well, pork puppies. You know, why not? I mean,
Pork puppies.
Yeah, pork puppies.
I love it.
So it kind of gets people thinking and listening. So it took me a while. I tried several different ways and really couldn't come up with what I wanted. So it took me a while and ended up having a guy to come to work for us. He's retired from Tyson Farms, and he's very educated in foods. He can make pretty much anything kind of happen with a food. So I told him what I wanted to do, and with a couple of days of attempts and tries at it, you know, different ways of battering it and all that, we came up with the Carolina Barbecue Company Pork Puppy, you know, a.k.a. Hush Piggy.
Yeah,
that's
that. Yeah, I was going to say, so when you first came up with this and you first were kind of, you know, letting us, because I just a little history on me before I started doing the podcast and everything like that, I worked for Mike. Okay, I did work for Mike for a little period of time there, and some of the most fun I'd had in my whole life was working for Mike. But he just kind of rolled them out. We were kind of testing them as like employees, and you let us try some. And I took some home to my wife, and she was like, "What? These are so good!" And you have that Carolina Ranch sauce.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We take 2 parts ranch to 1 part our vinegar barbecue sauce. So it comes up with a Carolina Ranch vinaigrette, is what we like to call it.
That's very good.
So, it's perfect for the pork puppies. Honestly, you could put it on a salad, like just any old salad. It just throws a little extra kick. It's like I say, a ranch vinaigrette.
Yeah, it's got a little tang to it.
It's more than just ranch, you know. So it's like that. So.
Oh yeah, but Carrie was saying, what are these? I was like, well, we're trying to figure out. Mike has the name pork puppies or hush piggies. And Carrie liked the name Hush Piggies. Yes, and she even actually, I think she said it on like a Facebook post or whatever,
right,
a social media post that you had made.
I think.
And she was kind of bummed out when we didn't go with that name. But the pork puppies were born, and I like to refer to them as golden nuggets of greatness.
Yep.
Okay. It's proof that Jesus loves us, Mike. That's the thing, is Jesus gave you the idea for the pork puppies. Am I wrong?
Amen.
So
right.
There you go. It's. I mean, I'm willing to bet. And this is going to sound so bad. if they could have been served at the Last Supper, Jesus would have served them.
Had a pork puppy.
Had a pork puppy. Lord, forgive me for that right there. All right, I'm going to stop right there. So you've got all these different menu items. You've got your brisket baked beans. You've got your smoked mac and cheese. Now you've got this restaurant, okay?
Yep.
You've been doing this for quite some time, and you've been very successful at it. I got a question for you, Mike. I don't remember how long ago it was exactly, but you do take out. People call in their orders. They can order online with you, things that need to be mentioned. NCBBQ, the number 4, the letter U.com. So NCBBQ4U.com. You can see his menu there and everything like that. But you had some people call in an order.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty decent sized order from what I remember.
It's around $75-$80.
Okay.
It's not, it's decent for a call in order.
And they showed up and decided they didn't want it anymore for some. Tell us what happened there, if you don't mind me asking.
All right. Well, that was back around 2020, back when there was a little bit of uproar in the country over police and all that, and there was a defund the police thing going on around then. Anyway, these people placed their order. When they got to the parking lot, they pulled in. They called us from their car. I wish they'd have come inside, to be honest with you. But they said they didn't want the order. And we're like, well, why would you cancel the order now? We have it hot and ready for you in here right now. Well, we don't support the thin blue line flag you have hanging out front. And at that point, hung up and drove off. And I saw the license plate, but I won't mention the plates.
Of course, yeah. No. Okay.
Regardless. Anyway. But anyway, it was kind of disappointing that, someone would do that. We've had the thin blue line flag out there, I imagine, for like 4 or 5 years. We've had it there for a long time. It means something to me. But when they said that to me, it's kind of disappointing. And I decided, well, what we need to do is go ahead and get a thin red line flag and a thin green line flag and put it on the other side of the restaurant to make everybody happy. So that's what we did. We went in and got a memorial flag for firemen and memorial flag for military, and we hung them up. They fly alongside the thin blue line flag now. It was, like I say, it was my girlfriend at the time was working at the restaurant that day. She's a retired North Carolina State Trooper. She wasn't about to let that go down like it went down. So we decided to take this negative and make a double positive out of it.
Okay.
It went about like this. We posted it online about you have to pay for your order in advance now and what had happened. It kind of went viral at that point, just that little bit of post. And people were like, man, I just hate to hear that. And I literally had patches and checks coming from across the country from different police departments going, hey, we'd like to help you out. We heard about this. So money started rolling in. And I didn't know what to do with this money. I'm like, this money's not mine. And prominent doctor, retired doctor up on the north end of the island. He stopped in and said, hey, I'm going to write you a check. I saw what happened. I'm going to write you a check here. And, I'm, proud of what you did and the way you handled it. Here's a check for $2,000.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, it won't have what kind of money. He goes, nah, I'd like for you to have it. I hate to see this kind of thing happen to a local business, and, I want to support you like that. I said, well, no, it's not my money. I said, I tell you what, right then and there, I decided to start a GoFundMe page called Feed the Blue for Free. And his $2,000 was the first deposit to go into that. Well, then lo and behold, he's wrote the check for $2,500 and said, you need to take $5 for yourself. And just the way this was going. So we took the GoFundMe page and we posted it on Facebook, mentioned it, and it went to a number of 15,000 likes and comments. We had police departments all across the country sending us patches, sending us checks, to pay for this. And we just started getting money. Next thing you know, the GoFundMe page and all the thing, we were at $11,000 we raised to feed the blue for free. And that's exactly what we did. We fed the military, police, and fire for 4 months for free with that money.
That's awesome.
And, so we took a negative and, like I say, turned it into a double positive. And that's, it has brought a big return. People come here. I read your story, and I wanted to come. It's coming to Outer Banks on vacation this year. We definitely had to come here and eat. Man, I love your place. Here's a patch. You know, so we have patches. I probably have a little over 250, 300 patches on the walls. I know we got well over 100 challenge coins. Memorial Day weekend, we literally got a coin of excellence from General Donahue.
That's awesome.
Yep, he's Army, Air Force. He's Command Sergeant Major for Fort Bragg and the 18th Airborne Corps. So that was pretty. It kind of touches your heart to see people, you know, inspire you to do more. And I think that was from him and from the other people that give patches and are encouraging my effort to give back to the people that serve, you know, military, police, and fire. But also the community is my game. You know, that's what the restaurant to me is all about. Is I live on an area there's a few people on this island. If the tourists aren't here, well, I got to survive, and they're going to be the ones that help me survive. So the tourists are the treat, the locals are the guarantee. Right. So that's kind of the way I've run my business so far. But that's what ended up happening on that day that they decided they didn't want to pay. Well, it ended up paying in other ways.
It dag sure did, Mike. And I kind of want to go into a little bit of when you walk inside the doors of your restaurant. I mean, it is obvious that you are proud to support the military, the police, the fire, the EMS, those individuals. You got decor in there that shows that outright support. Yeah, the country as a whole. Amen. Amen. He's got his.
I got a warning sticker on the door just to let you know.
What is that? Now, what does that sticker say?
I'll tell you a little bit of story behind it real quick.
Real quick.
All right. So my restaurant had been in business for 1 year. And we've been playing K-Love Christian music for about 4 months. Our T-shirts came in that 1 year anniversary day. I got home that evening and I felt in my heart that I need to warn people about the boldness of my restaurant when you come in it. So I created a sign. When I said I did mechanical engineering, I used to design logging equipment. So one of my jobs was the warning stickers on those large tractors. So I came up with a warning sticker that says, "Warning, blast zone, beware of falling rock." That's kind of a common sticker you might see somewhere. Well, in my mind, the blast zone is really the blessed zone because it's the restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And the rock is God. So there's a big warning sticker on the front door that says, "Warning, blessed zone, beware of God."
That's a good one. It was a good sticker.
Just to let you know, it's kind of like the blessing being said right there and there for you as you come in. So
there you go. And that's the thing. Like I said, I mean, there's not a bigger patriot. Not a big, I mean, an individual that has a very large heart for his community. I mean, your granddaddy was a police chief, wasn't he?
Yeah, for Emporia, Virginia for 30-some years.
So there you go. Like, this man has a heart for those that serve us. He wants to serve them and help them. So, and you offer a little bit of a kickback for those that are, and you ask. That was the thing. So that was one thing, you think about a lot of places, and Mike, I'm gonna praise you real quick. You think about a lot of places that you go to, and if they don't say that they're a veteran or they are police or fire or anything of that nature, they don't offer the discount. I remember when I was working for Mike and I was working up at the window taking orders, Mike said, "You better ask if they're a veteran, active military, police, fire, or EMS, that kind of thing. Ask them that. I don't want them to have to, get you ask them, because I want to make sure that they get their little bit of a kickback of a discount that we give here at Carolina Barbecue Company. And I would ask, and people, and they thanked us. They would thank you. They were like, "Thank you for asking." Not many places ask, and you're leading by example in that regard, in my opinion, because not enough places do ask.
Right.
And I know that I always appreciated it. I remember being in Atlanta at a baseball game, and I was in the club store for the Atlanta Braves, and the guy asked me, he said, "Are you a veteran? Are you active duty?" Anything like that? I said, "No, I'm a veteran." He said, "Do you have a veteran card?" I said, "Yeah." And he showed it to me. He said, that's 15% off. And I was like, "Oh, man.
Nice.
That's so cool." And he's like, we're required to ask. And I was like, "You remind me of my buddy Mike,"
Yeah.
And anyway, that is definitely a super cool thing that you do. And like I said, one of the biggest hearts in the world for the veterans, for the fire, the EMS, the police, everything like that, the military, one of the biggest patriots you'll meet, Mike Weaver. And I'm proud to call him my friend, very proud to call him one of my best friends. And he's got a great restaurant. I encourage all of you, if you've never been, you need to go. He's right there. Tell him where to find you, Mike.
Just as you come into Manteo on your left, when you come in off the light there on 258, was it 264?
260. It's 64. 64. There you go. You got it.
I get it right in a minute. Right off 64.
Coming off of 158 to 64 from the beach. There you go.
Exactly. So, yeah, we're right down your left as you're coming into town, right across from the Silver Bonsai.
Okay.
Just keep an eye. We're a little bit off the road there, but you should see flags. Keep your eye to the left, and we'll have a full parking lot this year. We usually do it. People are coming, and like I say, we're coming up on 7 years, so it's made a name for itself. I'm pretty happy with it. That's for sure.
And you're open right now. Your hours Tuesday through Saturday?
Yep, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3. We're going to extend those hours here soon. As soon as we pick up a few more employees, and as soon as the business down here picks up a little bit, we're going to go to longer hours. We might bring Mondays back on. I kind of like having Mondays off because I can get some things done. But be honest with you, we'll see how it goes this year because we really would like to be able to bring the product to people at a longer distance, longer time.
Gotcha.
That said, we also this year we're working on a couple of new things. We're going to have our sauce getting bottled.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to go in a little bit further with that. We're also checking some shelf stabilized barbecue. So we might be putting our barbecue in some different places. So we're working on that. We're working on with some scientists and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we might be bringing something new to the market. Hopefully,
very nice.
Really good barbecue. That's be new for the market.
Really good barbecue would be new for the market.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, before we shift gears here, Mike, and jump into some events that are going to be going on locally, I heard something the other day. It was like it's something along the lines of Carolina barbecue is your spot for Eastern Carolina barbecue and some good country loving.
That just kind of came out.
It just kind of came out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get when you come to Carolina Barbecue Company, man. We're going to look out for you. We're going to love on you if you let us and do the best we can to make you happy.
There you go. Again,
it's all
Mike,
about that country.
Again, Mike Weaver, Carolina Barbecue Company here in Manteo and online at NC, the letters BBQ, the number 4, the letter U.com. NCBBQ for
you.com.
There you go. One of my best friends in the world. Mike, thanks for hanging out with me. And I look forward to 2024. It's going to be a fun year.
Appreciate it. I'm going to try to come up here and do this again with you, too.
Oh, no. We're going I'm going to come to you this time, though. Next time, rather. I'm going to come to you. We're going to do it from inside the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I think that sounds like a better. Let's get inside the environment and let's set up shop and let's talk to some customers. I don't know. You think Keegan would talk to us? I don't know.
Nah, I don't.
No, you don't think so? Keegan, one of
He'll
Mike's
smile.
loyal employees.
Yes, he is.
So, but Mike, also something. So we're going to jump into some events. Got a word from one of our sponsors coming up. Juan Cheese Off Road. Now you have a
man. Don't even tell me. I might have to carry my Bronco down there to those guys.
You got a Bronco?
Yeah, dude. I got one of those new Broncos.
Oh yeah.
I treated myself finally after 7 years to something. But yeah, dude, I got me a nice little Bronco. We had a little event about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
3 weeks ago, I guess it was Broncos and barbecue. It was pretty cool. We had about 28 trucks show up. You helped me out on that, and we got to go for a beach ride down to Corolla. So it was pretty fun. And the reason I might have to carry this to off-road, Outer Banks off-road there.
Juan Cheese Off-Road.
There
you go. Juan Cheese Off-Road. You got it. It's all right. It's okay.
I had a guy's going to kill me down there. No, don't do that. All right, but no, man, I went off-roading last weekend with a group out of Virginia. It's Where to Wheel At. It's a great little thing. It's like an Airbnb of where to off-road at. And, man, we got to go to the Blackwater Academy. It's over in Moyock.
Okay.
All right, so they do all kinds of training for military and guys like that. But they have off-road courses. They have driving courses, dunes to climb, race courses for any kind of car. So, but you're part of this group. We got to go out there, and I did some off-roading, and I did a little damage to the Bronco, I believe.
Oh, no.
Got a little grease leak on the axle.
Oh.
I was really putting it to it, though.
Oh, Mike.
Ford Motor Company even complimented me on it. So
I seen
maybe
that
they'll
post.
pay for it. Hey,
You never know.
It is under warranty.
All right, let's check in with our fine friends over at Juan Cheese Off-Road. When it comes to general maintenance or major modifications on your diesel vehicle, look no further than Juan Cheese Off-Road Diesel Performance in Kill Devil Hills. Master mechanic Ryan Walker developed the plan for having his own auto shop over 20 years ago, and today he owns the premium diesel performance powerhouse of the Outer Banks. To have him and his crew take a look under your hood, give him a call today at 252-715-0025 or find him on social media. Juan Cheese Off-Road Diesel Performance, the diesel performance powerhouse of the Outer Banks. All right. Here we go, Mike. We're going to jump into some events real quick, okay? I got a little handful of events, and you can find all these events. They're going to be on our website, outerbanksthisweek.com. You click on the events tab, and they're all listed right there in order by date. So you can definitely find them all there. Anything
By date?
By date.
Oh, I need a date. I'm just kidding.
Mike is single. He is single.
I am single.
That's what. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
That's the thing. I need to find Mike a good woman. Just gonna say it like it is. We're gonna find Mike a good woman.
Yeah.
Good looking 50-year-old man that looks.
You don't tell the age, man.
Well, no.
Tell anybody's age.
No. Hold on a second.
I could
Okay,
be
here we go.
48.
Here we go. This man is sitting across from me right now. He's like a mixture of like Mr. Clean meets Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Lord.
All right, maybe with a little Goldberg in there from WCW. You're like that's like the trifecta coming together, and he can cook barbecue. You can't lose, ladies. You can't lose. Inquire at Carolina Barbecue Company in Manteo. Fill out the application. It'll come to me, and then I'll let Mike know if you're cool enough for him to talk to.
Justin approves. All right.
Mike, something that I always try to tell people is to make sure you support your local high school athletics. So a lot of your basketball and other stuff that's kind of wrapped up. We're getting into baseball season, softball, tennis, golf.
How about the girls' soccer?
Girls' soccer? That's starting. They're starting now.
How about Manteo's girls' soccer team last year?
I had them in here on the podcast
Man,
last
that was
year, Mike.
awesome. We fed them, too. I'm just saying, that's pretty awesome, man.
That is rad. That is super rad. They
Carrying
got
us to the top. We got
and a lot
champions.
A lot of that team has come back this year, so there's a chance they can repeat. It'd be really cool.
That would be awesome.
But I say to support your local high school athletics, middle school as well. I don't want to forget about them because a lot of times that might be their Super Bowl. It might be their World Cup finals or whatever the case may be. Like that is the highlight of their high school careers a lot of times,
that's really important.
Yes, absolutely. Got a lot of trivia nights going on at like Lost Colony Waterfront Beer Garden, Shipwrecks, Sand Trap. You know anything about Lost Colony Waterfront Beer Garden, Mike?
Yeah, man, I love that place.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like to go there. I'm not very smart when it comes to trivia. I never get anything right, but I still like hanging out with Dirt because he's a really cool dude.
Who? Dirt?
Dirt.
Man, that...
Dirt Bateman.
That Dirt.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's okay. He's supposed to be on the show with me soon, but...
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bomb that one.
Are you gonna you gonna join in on that one, Mike?
I'm gonna find out when that happens.
It's not till next year. Sorry.
Come on.
But trivia nights, like I said, Lost Colony Waterfront Beer Garden, Shipwreck, Sand Trap Tavern, Stripers, Outer Banks Distilling, New Vines, all weekly trivias that take place. Now, again, these can all be found online at outerbanksthisweek.com along with others.
All these places are great, too.
Yeah, the aquarium in Manteo, they got tons of things happening weekly as well, but you got to make sure you go online to schedule your time to go visit.
Yeah.
That's the thing these days. You got to make sure you schedule that. Something that's pretty cool that's happening every Sunday at Cafe Pamlico, they're doing their Sunday brunch from 8 until noon.
Good.
I'll tell you what, Mike, they have... Do you like chicken and waffles? Have you had chicken and waffles?
Yes.
They have a spicy chicken and waffle dish down at Cafe
like
Pamlico in Buxton.
Right.
Holy smokes. Knock your socks off. It is
I don't
so
wear
good.
Socks. Would it knock the flip-flops off?
Knock the flip-flops off.
Okay,
It'll knock your extra tufts off. Something, Mike. Whatever. I'm just telling you. You need to try it. All right, so that's something that you can do. Cafe Pamlico in Buxton every Sunday from 8 until noon. There's Sunday brunch. They got entertainment, mimosas, all that fun stuff.
Nice.
The Special Olympics at Polar Plunge is going to be at Jeanette's Pier Saturday, March 9th. You can go online to obxplunge.com to register and to jump in the water, pay your money.
What time? Do you know what time to jump in?
I believe it starts at, they have a briefing at like 11.
Okay.
And then I believe 11:30 is when you actually take the plunge. So I'll be out there for that, and I don't know, maybe
I'm gonna look out for you. I promise you. I tell you. I'll pay you fee on that. I promise you.
There you go.
Right.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you. I'll throw some money at it too, though.
We're gonna look out for you.
The State of the Child Conference is going to be happening on Thursday, March 14th from 9 until 3:30 at the Ramada in Kill Devil Hills. You can go online to darekids.org for more details, and the goal is to bring greater awareness about issues related to Dare County's youth, including like child care, early learning, child well-being, and enrichment/recreation. Now, this March conference is going to bring community leaders together to discuss and explore opportunities and long-term solutions to the areas of the greatest needs for kids. So I have my ticket for that. I'm going to be attending that being...
Right on.
Yeah, so that's just something I feel is very important. I got a race coming up. The running of the Leprechauns 5K and 10K is being put on by the Outer Banks Sporting Events on Saturday, March 16th at 7 a.m. There's more details on our website about that. The 33rd annual Kelly's St. Patrick's Day Parade is happening on Sunday, March 17th. I'm going to have Mike Kelly in the week before to talk about that. That's going to be at 1 o'clock in Nags Head. All the information is online for that, where it starts, where it stops. And Outer Banks this week's actually going to have a float in the parade.
Float, really?
Yeah, we're going to have a float, Mike.
Maybe I'll clean the Bronco up.
I just had an idea.
It's muddy. Okay, what?
I just had an idea.
You going to come help me clean it?
Well, maybe I can. Maybe you could be. You don't need to. I'll help you clean it, Mike.
All right.
I'll help you clean it.
What are you going to say? I'm sorry.
We'll try to get you like in line somewhere, either in front of or behind our float.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I can work on that. Something else going on that same day. The Hatteras Island Cancer Foundation is having their St. Patrick's Day brunch on Sunday, March 17th from 11 until 2 at the Hatteras Marlin Club. You can visit their Facebook page for more information. Again, that brunch is to support the Hatteras Island Cancer Foundation. And just looking down the road a little bit further, the Outer Banks Taste of the Beach is happening April 12th through the 14th.
Yum. That'll be good.
Yes. Outer Banks, that's always a fun time, Taste of the Beach. So I look online. You can find all the tickets and everything and all the details again online at outerbanksthisweek.com for all of those things. All right, coming up, Mike, we're going to wrap this thing up. But first, going to check in with our friends over at Saltbox Cafe. Have you ever had Saltbox Cafe, Mike?
I haven't, but I've heard a lot of good things about the place. I need to get my tail over there. I really do.
Well, I'm going to tell you some more things about it right now.
For an array of tasty eats featuring local seafood, fresh meats, and produce, make your way to the Saltbox Cafe in Collington. Chefs and owners, Randolph and Amanda Sprinkle, invite you to enjoy an award-winning Sunday brunch, as well as lunch and dinner, 6 days a week at their charming cottage-style restaurant, just a short trip down Collington Road. To see their menu and list of events, visit them online at thesaltboxcafe.com. Complement your Outer Banks stay with a trip to the Saltbox Cafe.
All right, Mike, Saltbox Cafe in Collington. That Sunday brunch sounds really, really good. I've yet to do it, but I've heard so many good things. And one thing that I failed to mention, they do recommend you make reservations. Right. Reservations are recommended. They strongly suggest you call them up and make reservations. That phone number for Saltbox, 252-255-5594.
That's because it's good.
That's because it's good. All right, Mike, did we forget anything? I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you what, I've had a heck of a time with you here.
I appreciate it, man.
Today.
I really do.
And I've really been wanting to get you in here whenever we've tried a couple different times to kind of get our schedules lined up.
I should have been you first. I'm sorry. You tried to get me to be you first, I think. I'm not sure.
I might have. But you know what? You're the first of the second year of the podcast. Does that make sense? Like you're the first. Last week was episode 52. That made it a whole year. And now this is episode 53 to start the year. Does that make sense? Maybe?
I kind of feel special. Thank you.
Well, good. Mike, I do. I really appreciate you coming in and hanging out.
Hey, man, I enjoyed it. I really did.
Good deal. Next week, got our buddy Gino from Lost Colony Tavern. He's going to be coming in and talk about the month of St. Patrick that they have going on at the tavern for the month of March. So I look forward to having him in. Maybe he'll bring me some Scotch eggs because I like them. They're very good. And so I look forward to that. Again, Mike, I really appreciate it, man. Again, Mike Weaver, Carolina Barbecue Company, one of my best friends in the world. I feel like I've said that like 5 or 6 times, but it's worth mentioning.
Well, brother, you are the same to me. I'll have you know that. And you've made a big difference in Carolina Barbecue Company. You've made a big difference in my life since I've lived in the Outer Banks. And, brother, I appreciate it. You really better believe it.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
All right, again, like I said, next week, Gino from Lost Colony Tavern. All right, that's it for the Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode 53, all brought to you by Kelly's Automotive in Manteo. Like I said, if it has doors, it can be yours. Get up with Kelly or Dakota over at the car lot in Manteo. Check out their inventory online at kellysodxauto.com. All right, Mike, we're out of here.
See you, sir.
All right.
Peace out.
Later.
This has been another radical edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow us on social media, and listen every Thursday for a new episode.